I didn't realize until now.
Right?
Except mine says goodbye. I don't know if you want to put the back windows up that way it's not so cold.
Put them on. Greetings. We're just gonna start talking because we're not gonna wait for people to right
I don't know if it's going to be too loud or not.
hook up. Hope the sound is okay. Thanks for tuning in. Again, my name's Javier. Caterina.
Roxy.
Roxy, yeah, they call her Roxy. We wanted to talk about since our last video where we showed that we are exercising our right to travel freely and unencumbered without the need of license, registration, or insurance, according to the law, according to the Supreme Court. Hundreds of cases, if not thousands of cases already have determined that we don't need a driver's license or registration or insurance to travel on the public highways, public roads. These roads are ours. They're not the government's. Okay? We were receiving some comments. One individual in particular, and it's okay because comments are good because we can clarify any doubts that there may be out there as far as this particular subject. I think, and this is just my approach, when I want to learn something, I approach someone by asking them to provide me with information of where I got my information from, right? But most people, what they do is, in particular, I get it. This is something that's new to, if not all of the people that are tuning in. Hopefully not. Hopefully there's more people like us that this whole scheme, this whole scam that the government has foisted on us. And this is just one of many. We can go down the list with all the scams that they've perpetrated on us. So the definition of motor vehicle, this one particular individual was providing me with definitions of the term. It's a term, right? It's not a word. And even if it's a single word, it's still a term. A term, for those of you that don't know, is when you take a word and you give it your particular meaning. In this case, the government. Okay? They take these words and they give it their own particular definition. That's why whenever you're going to read any of their codes, statutes, ordinances, regulations, you have to go to the law dictionary. You can go to Bouvier's, however you pronounce that, Bouvier's is B-O-U-V-I-E-R apostrophe S, Bouvier's Law Dictionary, or you can go to Black's Law Dictionary. Black's Law has several editions. From what I have gathered, they keep changing the definition of the original terms and words that they had in there to hide the scheme and to make things more convoluted and more confusing for people. Right. Okay? Right. This it's a game they're playing. It's called legalese. If you don't know what legalese is their own language. These admiralty courts, they're administrative courts. They're not Article 3 courts. For those of you that know the Constitution for the United States of America, go to Article 3 and you'll see what an Article 3 court is. Those are the only courts that are allowed under common law.
And they got their lingo.
So that's what legalese is. It's their own lingo. So that's why when you go to read any of these codes, statutes, ordinances, regulations, whatever it is that they're calling it, they're not laws. That's why they're not called laws. It's either a law or it's something else.
It's a statute, an ordinance, or...
Statutes are their own interpretation of the law, and they make it to where it does not benefit you, it benefits them.
Right.
Okay? When I say them, I'm talking about the United States Incorporated, which is a corporation according to Title 28, Section 3002. And I'll keep repeating that pretty much on every line so people get it, you know, understand that what we're talking about. So I'm trying to explain to this individual, we had about 30 or 40 back and forth, you know, answers, questions and responses. So when you are going to look for the definition of a word or a term, you cannot use the very same word or term that you're trying to define within the definition. That's like looking for the definition of flower, and they tell you in the definition, a flower is a flower. Okay, and this individual doesn't understand that. I had to explain it to him, and he was still reluctant to you know, to understand what I'm telling him. I get it. This is a new subject. The public school system has dumbed us, I'm included, right? I had to do a lot of unlearning, right? And I'm still learning. I'm still unlearning and learning new stuff. So that's number one. If you're going to define the term motor vehicle, you cannot look for a definition that has the word either motor or vehicle in it. That's not the way it works. If you go to 18 United States Code, Chapter 31, Section A6, you'll see the definition of motor vehicle. Okay, it doesn't use the word motor or vehicle in that definition. And that is the definition that the Supreme Court has used in their rulings, in the very many cases that have already been ruled about the difference between the right to travel and driving. They're two different things. Another thing that we went back and forth was with driving as a commercial activity. Okay? A driver is one who operates a motor vehicle, which is a commercial transport. Transportation is a commercial term. All these terms that they're using have to do with commerce. Okay, interstate commerce in particular. That's why the law that prevails is federal, because it's interstate commerce. And since it's interstate, anytime that it's an activity that involves more than one state, it becomes a federal jurisdiction. Okay?
Uniform Commercial Code.
Right. What's being practiced in these courts, these admiralty courts, is Uniform Commercial Code. You can look it up. We're not making this up. Okay? This takes a lot of reading, and it takes a lot of reading comprehension. So I also posted, if you haven't seen it, on our channel, the New Hampshire has a bill. I don't know if they approved it or not, but the fact that the New Hampshire legislation has a bill already that recognizes the difference between traveling in your private automobile and driving. And traveling does not require a driver's license or registration, and you can look that up as well. It's right there. The bill is, I posted it on the channel. So the cat's out of the bag. It has been for it's not just under their statutes where it says that only commercial vehicles require license and registration, but under common law, you have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so the right of movement, if not the number one right, or the most important right to me, is the right of movement. Sorry, we lost there for a minute.
Yeah, we're going through the mountain over here, and it's raining.
It's raining.
But like I was saying, like our friend Brian from Here's the Deal says all the time, rights aren't like
muscles. If you don't exercise them, you'll lose them.
Right. So, so the right of movement, and the Supreme Court has already ruled on this again. I'm going to keep saying it for hundreds of cases, that the right to travel is an unalienable right. So basic that it doesn't even need explanation. All right? Anyone can understand the right of movement. And it doesn't say that it's got to be on a horse or bicycle, whatever. It says in the mode of travel of the present day, whatever the mode of travel is. And we know that automobiles have been the mode of travel for over 80, 90 years already.
Right.
Okay? That case, I can't remember which case that is. That's I think it's the most quoted case from the Supreme Court. What else? This process, you're not asking permission from anyone. In case someone's asking, oh, who gives me those tags? Or no one gives you anything. You just stand on your rights and you go to a print shop and you find one of many different types of private plates and you print them out. And you do the process. Our process was to go on the offensive. All right, we're even though we can be pulled over, right? Nobody's being naive about this whole thing, but we're going on the offensive, and we're going to the DMVs. We just came from the Department of Transportation office. Unfortunately, they didn't take care of our request there. It's not a request. They didn't take care of our process there. We're not requesting anything.
Right.
They can do it, or they don't do it. We're still going to travel.
Right.
Okay. We're just
putting them in notice, and letting them know what we're doing.
Right. So we're going on the offensive. We're citing all the laws. We're citing all the definitions. We're citing various cases that demonstrate unequivocally that we're the ones that are doing things lawfully. They're the ones that are violating people's rights by making them believe that they need registration and licenses, in order to travel on these roads. Paying them, that's coercion. That's not American. You're gonna coerce me? Oh well, you pay me, or you can't travel.
Right.
All right. Think about it. Anyone that's not familiar with Carl Miller, you should look him up. Carl Miller, Know Your Constitution. He has three videos that are awesome. They're about 6 hours, about 2 hours a piece. And the amount of information that this man has put out there for free is amazing. He teaches you how to stand in court. He teaches you how to use the Constitution for the United States of America, using the amendments, the articles, which the main one is Article 6, Section 2, or some people say Paragraph 2. Article 6, Section 2 of the Constitution for the United States of America states very clearly that the Constitution is the supreme law of the land. When we talk of admiralty law, which is what is being practiced in these administrative courts, that's why you see the gold fringe and the flag that's being flown there. You ask people, hey, why does it have a gold fringe? That's not the flag. They're going, oh, it's just to make it look pretty. No, sir. That is an admiralty flag. It's the flag of war. Okay, do your due diligence and look it up. Why does it have a gold fringe? I've personally challenged judges in the courtroom and have asked them, why are you flying?
They're putting out friggin' thousands and thousands of antennas.
Yeah, we keep losing signal.
The signal sucks anyway.
So much for 5G, for those people that believe that 5G has anything to do with better signal and speed of the internet.
Right.
Okay. I forgot what I was saying.
The amnesty.
Right, I've challenged judges in the court. When I used to go to court, I don't go to court anymore. I just take care of everything through a affidavit of truth and put them on notice. So Carl Miller, you can look him up. His videos are, in my estimate, they're amazing. Okay, I've listened to them over and over and over and over again. Okay, he talks about American jurisprudence, a couple of sections in there which tell you that, amongst other things, that judges do not have immunity. Prosecutors do not have immunity. Police officers do not have immunity. They want you to make you believe that, to keep you in fear, and to make you believe that they can do whatever they want.
Wow, then it's beautiful.
But that's not the case. Okay? He teaches you how to cite several documents besides the Constitution on how the judge is supposed to or has to interpret the law. Anyway, look him up. Carl Miller, Know Your Constitution. He's on YouTube. Unfortunately, the man passed away, but he left his legacy. Okay, so let's finish up with the right to travel. They told us here that we needed to go to the office closest to our house. We decided to come to pretty much the main office, the headquarters, to take care of it there. As I said, we're going on the offensive. We're going to these offices. We're putting them on notice. We're killing the contracts. No more registration. No more nothing. This is her automobile and my motorcycle, and that's it. We're not paying no more registration. We don't have a driver's license, and we're not going to pay any more tolls. And if you think that, oh well, who's going to take care of the roads? Well, in case you didn't know, your money for registration does not go to pay the roads. If anybody can look up the law where it says that, I'll entertain it. I'll read it, but I haven't been able to find it. The way that the roads are taken care of and developed is through the gas tax, and that I have looked, and yes, the gasoline tax goes for the improvement and the maintenance of roads. So every time you put gasoline in your automobile, you are paying for the roads, and there's no need for tolls, because we're already paying these people in these institutions. I don't know what do you call it, the Department of Highway and Safety Administration. I don't know if those are the ones that take care of the roads. We're already paying them the salary, because they're getting their salary supposedly from taxpayers. I'm not a taxpayer, but whoever's a taxpayer. I stopped paying taxes in 2008.
Right.
So the roads are being taken care of. Your money for registration goes into their pocket. Okay? And along with all the other fines, every time they stop you and you have a busted headlight and they give you a $150 ticket, or the cop decides to say that you ran a red light when you really didn't, but it's his word against yours, and guess who's going to prevail in court if you don't know how to defend yourself? Anyway, so that's what we're doing. We're going on the offensive. We've been to 3 or 4 police stations already, sat down with the lieutenant or the sergeant or whoever is the supervisor of that particular police station, and we've given them copies of the documentation that we have with us at all times in the automobile. And we've also put the commissioner of police, which is the highest, after the governor, the commissioner of police is in charge of the entire police force in Puerto Rico. So we decided to put him on notice, showing him the law, showing him, the cases, definitions, and telling him what we're doing, showing him what the sanctions are, the penalties are for him not abiding by his oath of office to defend the Constitution for the United States of America and our rights, and that if he doesn't answer, what we requested in the notice was to have a meeting with him. And when I say we, it's not just her and me. We have a group of people that are willing to go and sit down and talk to him and tell him exactly, you know, what the law is. If he doesn't answer, I think he's got like a week, right, left since we sent the
30 days.
30 days. We sent it via email at first. We waited about a month and a half, and
we didn't get a response, so we decided to send it registered mail to make sure that it was him that would actually, you know, receive the notification, all the documentation, the whole package. It's a big package over here of documentation. And so since he hasn't answered back yet, according to the law, when you don't respond, you can't, like, you know, you can't say, oh, I didn't know about it. Well, we let you know.
when you send an affidavit to someone, whatever it is, whatever you're dealing with, if you, like, say you send an affidavit to someone, it's a claim, right? You're saying, hey, you did this and this and this to me, and these are the facts according to me, and you send it to someone. If that man or woman ignores it, you can send them another notice. You're supposed to do it 3 times. I don't know, 3 is a lucky number, like they say, right? There's something to that within the legal realm. If they don't answer you back, then automatically they default and it becomes law. Whatever you're saying in that affidavit is the truth. And when you go to court, they're going to lose. Same thing with you. If you don't answer, then you've already acquiesced, okay, through silence. So you have to respond. You can never ignore things. You can, especially when we're dealing with legal stuff, legal or lawful stuff. So we put him on notice. We told him what the repercussions are for not answering and for allowing his police officers to violate our rights and cause us harm. And we're going to sue him and whoever is involved, whatever police officers, in federal court in their personal capacity. Exactly. We're not going to sue the county or the whatever. We're going to sue them in their personal capacity, which is different. And this is why people keep getting away with stuff. I mean, these cops, because nobody takes them to court in their personal capacity under Title 18, Section 241 and 242. Also, look up, I think it's the same title, 23, I believe it's 2381. Okay?
These people don't have qualified immunity.
Right. Well, they have qualified immunity. Qualified immunity means if they commit an error in the performance of their duty, right? But this isn't what they're doing, because we've already advised them of what the law is and that what they're doing is illegal and unlawful.
Right.
And so they lose their qualified immunity because they're
going against their oath of
the oath of office, but also they're violating our rights on the color of law. Color of law means they're making it seem like what they're doing is lawful, and if you don't know the law, then you're going to fall for it. And even when you do know the law and you confront them, what do? Hey, I got the badge and I got the gun and I got the taser, and I got this piece of tin here, this piece of metal here on my chest, which they don't even know why it's on their left side, on top of their heart.
Top of their heart.
And you do what I say or else.
Right.
Okay? So this is a process that takes knowledge,
wisdom,
then wisdom, because contrary to what most people have heard, that knowledge is power, that's part of the power. The remaining power is wisdom, which wisdom means what you do with that knowledge.
Right.
If you have it all bottled up here, you can recite it back and forth, and if you don't do anything with it, then what good is it?
Right.
Right?
You gotta put it into action, turns into wisdom, and then takes a lot of courage.
And then the last portion, which is where most people get stuck, is courage, because they don't have the intestinal fortitude to continue. They shit in their pants. and they think about the cops pulling them over. And I don't blame them. I'm not judging anyone. I've been to jail. Okay, I did a 4-month tour, almost 5-month tour. And one of the occasions that they arrested me in Florida for the same reason. But I'm not giving up. Because if that's all they got, if all they got is jail to violate my rights and make me do what they want me to do, I've been there, done that. Okay? But most people just want to be left alone. They don't care. They don't care about what's right and what's wrong. They don't care about their rights. They'll just say, oh, it's $1,080 registration fee, I'll pay it. Or it's a $500 ticket, I'll pay it and get it over with, you know, until the next one. And you just keep acquiescing and you keep acquiescing.
Right, conforming and just going through the motions.
And then when you look back at history, you wonder, how did all these things happen in the past, like the Holocaust, however you want to call it, which I can tell you it didn't happen the way that they've been telling you it happened. Okay, but that's another story. And what happened was that they kept taking people's rights away, and people wouldn't do anything. No, they at one point they drew the line in the sand. They came and stepped over the line. Then they moved back and drew another line, and then the government came and stepped over that line, and they just kept moving back until they were back against the wall, and it was too late.
And it happens time and time again in different parts of the world.
That's right. That's why history repeats itself, because we forget.
Don't learn.
We forget.
And we don't learn from our mistakes.
Right. So that's how it happens. They start with little tidbits, which you may think that, it's no big deal. It's no big deal. You know, just let them have that. You know, and that's how they do it. They keep monitoring us, and they say, well, they haven't said anything about this one. Okay.
Let's keep pushing the envelope.
Yeah, let's turn up the fire a little bit more and see what happens. And nobody does anything. And people get used to being slaves. And that's what it is. People get used to being slaves. They don't even know that they're slaves.
Right. And then when you tell them, they get offended.
Yep. Yeah, they get offended. We have family members that we tell them, well, you're a slave of the system, and they get offended. They start cussing at us and calling us all sorts of names.
Yep.
But when we tell them, what's the definition of slavery? Is somebody making you do something that you don't want to do? Do you want to pay taxes? And they'll come out with, they'll hypocrites, and they say, oh, it's my duty to pay, my patriotic duty to pay taxes. They don't even know where that money goes. They think they have this thing in their head where they think that it's the price to pay, like they say, to live in a civilized society. Please.
Taxation.
Does it seem like we're in a civilized society to you? Does it seem like that to you?
Taxes are voluntary.
Taxes are gift taxes. You can look it up. They're not mandatory. Okay? They've just bamboozled you into believing that they're mandatory. But they're not. So one curious thing that I wanted to mention here with what they call the equivalent of the treasury here in Puerto Rico, it's called hacienda. And it dawned on me not too long ago, because I'm like, I'm not much special. I have my certain programs are still running up here. It's just that I'm aware of them, but it takes me a while to catch on to things, just like everybody else, some things. And that was one of them. I said, wait a minute, hacienda. Why are they calling it hacienda? And then it dawned on me. I said, wait a minute, a hacienda is a plantation, right? So
what's on a plantation? Slaves.
Exactly. And it's just crazy, and we think that these people don't know what they're doing. They're laughing in our faces.
Right.
Not the people that work there, because the people that work there are
mostly clueless.
They're clueless. They don't know what's happening. They're part of the whole system, right? It's higher. I don't know if you know anything about hierarchy and compartmentalization, right? It's a pyramid scheme. The ones on the top, they know exactly what's going on, and they're pulling the strings. And as you go down, the next guy down the ladder knows just enough to do his job, but he doesn't know what the real goal is.
Right.
And it works its way down all the way to the bottom of the pyramid, whereas all these people that are working in these offices, they're just looking for a paycheck.
Right.
They don't know what the hell they're doing.
Right.
And that's how they keep the system in place.
Limited access to information, just so the scheme doesn't, blow up in everybody's face.
Right. So it was kind of it's sad actually that these people, they know what they're doing when they name these offices.
Right. One thing I wanted to mention is another misconception. Yes, we are in Puerto Rico, but that doesn't mean that the laws are different over here. We are the last colony. Puerto Rico is the last colony existing in this plane. And so we are under federal law of the United States. The United States is the empire that colonizes Origen. That's the original name of Puerto Rico. And so yeah, it's not like, oh, you guys are doing whatever you're doing because the laws are different there. No, absolutely not. The laws are the federal laws, and we don't have the right to vote, even though that's a fucking scam too. We don't have, the same rights as all Americans do, and so we are just at their mercy. And but yeah, it's a federal law that's in place over here. It's no different, not at all.
The oaths of office that these corrupt judges and corrupt police officers and corrupt public servants, most of them mean well because we've dealt with them. Like today,
Yeah.
both of the ladies that took care of us in the office, even though we were frustrated because we made the trip up here. Luckily, we didn't make just the trip to do that. We had other things to do. We coordinated
Right.
the trip to be able to do the other things we needed to do. But they were very cordial. They told us, hey, unfortunately, you had it done here last time, but we don't do that transaction here. You can and they told us what we needed to do. I'm not going to get upset. I'm just going to do what I got to do, and I'll take care of it another day closer to the house where we live at. So most of them are they're just oblivious to what's going on. Like most people. That's not just here in Puerto Rico. In the United States, most people are oblivious. There's only like a 0.01% of people that are awake and know what's going on.
Yeah, aware of the scam, but they all take the same oath of office to defend and uphold the Constitution of the United States of America first, and then the Constitution of Puerto Rico.
Which really means nothing because Congress already determined that they can abolish the Puerto Rican Constitution whenever they feel like, for whatever reason, at any time.
Right.
But that's here nor there because this is the whole goal that we're going to share here in this channel. That's why it's called Roots to Sovereignty. You need to start from the bottom and comprehend what's really going on and how they put a veil over your eyes, and you really don't know what's going on. These people are brilliant, and even when you're shown like that I think it was a man, a gentleman that had the back and forth with me on the channel. I get it. I told him, look, dude, I get it. This is like shocking to you. It's difficult for you to say, no, I can't. It's not that you're dumb. It's just that this whole system has been designed to where you don't question anything, right? So, and I was there, but it didn't take me very much to just say, okay, I was wrong. I was wrong. I gotta admit it. Now I know. Let me keep researching. Let me keep learning and try my best to not be had again. Okay? We're going to be talking about the birth certificate process here. That's where pretty much it all starts, the birth certificate.
Yep.
You are not the being. I'm not going to call it a person because person has its own definition, right? Person doesn't mean what you think it means. Okay? But the birth certificate is not you. The birth certificate is a legal entity. Okay?
Legal entity that's put in place because the United States corporation cannot come into contract with a living man or a woman. They have to be able to do transactions with other corporations, and that's why your name is in all caps, all capital letters. It's a corporation. It's a fictitious entity that they need to be able to access your trust, and so come into contract with you, with not you, with the all caps you. It's kind of weird. It sounds crazy, but it's not.
The birth certificate is on bond paper, like we showed the registration for the title, the
Like
certificate of title.
Like
It's
the
called bond paper.
bond paper.
If she showed you that from far away, you wouldn't know if it's a birth certificate or the certificate of title.
Right.
Okay, it's on bond paper. It has a numbering on it.
Right.
And if you look on the birth certificate, if you look towards the left-hand corner on the bottom,
Right.
it'll tell you what bank that birth certificate is being traded, or
Yep.
where the account is being held. It's being traded on the stock market.
Right.
Okay, so that's where it all starts. Your parents told you needed a birth certificate, or didn't tell you when you were a baby, because that's when they get you, is when you're a little baby, and your mother and father, they probably wouldn't have paid attention anyway, because I didn't pay attention anyway, and I wasn't in a stressful or wanted to get home to the baby or whatever. I just thought that that's the way things were done, because my dad told me that that's the way things are done. You need a birth certificate, right? But I didn't question, well, why do I need a birth certificate? What is a birth certificate? What is it?
It's just custom. Go
Right.
through the motions.
So your mother and your father sign their names, and agreed to make you, the baby, award, W-A-R-D, award of the state. And that's where it all starts. Now you become a ward of the state. So you're presumed to be lost at sea. That's why this is just
So
it's just
deep.
these people are brilliant. I'm telling you. That's why the doc is the one that receives you when you come out through the birth canal of your mother, right? Through when your mother breaks water, right? And then in admiralty law, when a ship docks, right?
Yep.
and it comes through the canal, right, to go into the bay and whatever, the port, and dock. And then what happens when they dock that ship? The captain has to give a manifest. And that's what the birth certificate is.
Or a certification of everything that's on board, whatever they're trading or commercializing.
If you want a very good broken down explanation, I can give it to you, but that'll be in another video. But if you want to really get your popcorn out and sit down and learn, look for Jordan Maxwell. That's one of the the first men, because I've listened to very many people, that I learned all this about it, and it was just flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted. I'm like, this can't be, right?
We're gonna need to make
Okay. So the birth certificate, if you don't claim, if you don't file the proper paperwork to come back to the land, right, when you're of age, which is at this point it's 18, and you reclaim your birthright as a man or a woman on the land, and you're not a corporation anymore,
and you're not under the admiralty law jurisdiction, you're under the
law of the land, natural law, common law,
right?
Then they will continue to treat you as a child. That's why when you go to court, you're still a ward
And so
of the
they
state.
give you a
That's why they assign an attorney to you. If one cannot be afforded, the court will appoint one for you.
Yeah.
Why? Because you are a child.
And they think that you can't handle your own shit.
And you are deemed to not be able to handle your own affairs. And since the public defender, the prosecutor, the judge, the police officer, the did I say prosecutor?
The
Prosecutor, police, all of them work for the state.
Right.
And you are just left there at their mercy.
Yep.
And they're all colluding to rape you. Literally
Get into
rape
your
you.
trust and suck the money out of your trust.
So the way that the trust comes into play is through the birth certificate. A trust is created where you are the beneficiary, but they have made you believe that you are not. That they are the
Trustee.
They are they're supposed to be. I think this is a cop coming. They're supposed to be we're supposed to be the beneficiaries. No, it's not. That's a cop. Anyway.
Yeah, it is JPU.
We are, huh?
Yeah, it is JPU. That was his signature.
It's supposed to be GE.
They just changed it to JPU. There's
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jaime and I, we
Looked it up?
Yeah.
Okay, so we just had a cop behind us. Was following me for a little bit. And then came up aside me, and now he's back behind me, so we'll see what happens.
Pretty sure they see our license plate. Dude, we're gonna need to pick it up. We were supposed to get off of there. I had seen Walgreens over there.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
you need to tell me. Hey, I need to get off in the next
Alright.
thing.
But you know.
So people, we're gonna leave it right here. We just want to give you an update, clarify some comments on our last video, which are good. We like comments, right? This is how we're gonna get the knowledge out there. But
Right.
I'd wish that people would just ask questions and not try to prove their point because they're in disbelief. I also, did I say this already? Did I posted the New Hampshire bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is not something to get into a debate about. We're not here to debate anybody.
I'm not here to debate. We're not here to convince anyone because there's no such thing. I can't convince you of anything.
Right.
You got to convince yourself. You have to
Right.
do your due diligence. Don't believe anything we tell you here.
Right. And accept that we've been lied about everything. About everything. Accept it. That's it.
So that's what we wanted to say for this video. We're going to continue to make more videos. We're going to upload some documents to bring people up to speed, and like I said, take the documents. If you're interested in this process, do your own research, right? The first thing you have to do is be honest with yourself. This is something that takes courage. More than anything, it takes courage. Okay? So thanks for tuning in. Please like, share if you think
subscribe.
We need to get this word out. We're hoping to be interviewed by Brian from Here's the Deal. Names that come to mind if you want to find out about the whole Admiralty law, the birth certificate, all this stuff. Santos Bonacci, Bonacci, Santos, Santos. Michael Tessarian. You can look at Brandon Joe Williams.
Yeah.
His website is called One Stupid FUCK. I don't know if I'm gonna be banned by YouTube for saying these words. One Stupid FUCK. A ton of information this guy
For free.
gives for free.
Mm-hmm.
For free, my friends. All his intention, his interest is the same as us. It's just to free our fellow human beings.
Right.
That's all we want to do. Where do you want to go? Anyway, take care. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that clarifies some things, and stay tuned.
Peace.